That's unfortunate. Normally military discipline is applied to people that don't follow orders with a willful intent to disrupt discipline in the military. And those kind of things. And as a former squadron and wing commander, I'm disappointed in my colleagues that are still on active duty. Quite frankly, I'm very disappointed in my peers who are now at the 3 and 4 star level. And what's happening here, especially at the Air Service Academy. The superintendent is one of my peers I flew with in the B-1. And the actions that I'm seeing are just not indicative of the character of the man that I know. And there must be an extreme amount of political pressure on these senior general officers and colonels as wing commanders and lieutenant colonels as squadron commanders. And it's really hurting the armed forces, isn't it, John? I mean, you're there, so you're talking to folks that I haven't been able to talk to since I was a captain and lieutenant crew member in the B-1 and the KC-135. So what are folks talking about on both sides of this issue from what you're hearing?
Yes, sure. I can totally speak to that. So level of the military, and that is the junior officer corps and the flying community, did everyone else really, all the way up to maybe wing commanders. Many service members really believe that this just doesn't make sense as to why we're discharging these service members over this vaccine. I think everyone at this point is painfully aware of the fact that the COVID-19 vaccine still causes you to get COVID. It still causes you to spread COVID. And the individuals in the military, like myself and tens of thousands of others, we aren't a risk factor for COVID at all. It's basically a cold at this point for anybody. And so I can understand some of the fear and anxiety that took place when COVID first broke out. But at this point, we've been doing this for 2 years now, and everyone's realized that this is really just a non-event. And so I think people recognize that. And I think people are recognizing how silly this has become in terms of the people that are getting discharged like myself. I have been within my squadron every single day. I have not been mandated to wear a mask. I have not been mandated. I am acting in the same capacity that I was before I was before, and when everyone else was unvaccinated at the same time. And so now suddenly, because my religious accommodation has been denied, I'm this grave threat to good order and discipline, and the health and safety of service members just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because if that was the case, shouldn't I be forced to stay at home or telework, which I'm not being told to do? And so people are seeing things like that. They're seeing things like pregnant service members being told that they have to get vaccinated the day they give birth, which does not make any sense, and I don't think is really very sound medical advice, though I'm not a doctor. And I know service members who have given birth and have applied for waivers to breastfeed and are fighting that. They still have not been granted that waiver. And so it just doesn't seem to make sense. It seems forced upon us in a way that doesn't seem to coincide with DoD policy or with just the basic concepts of leadership and caring for our service members.